This is Alexandra with Spiritual Healing Therapy, and in this video we're going to share a few things that I've learned over the course of the years working with spirits, and I'd like to share that with you. Let's begin, shall we? Alright, so like we said that many times, right? When we want to work with spirit, all we have to do is have this beautiful intention to be one, to be connected to spirit, because you are the extension of spirit, right? You are a particle of spirit. So you have access to spirit at any given time. You just have to do a little connection refresh. So we have a video for that. And please feel free to ask many questions so I would be guided to better help, right? And so something I wanted to help here for you to understand that once you do a really good connection refresh, you really feel and connected with spirit, then you can literally take any charts, right? All you have to do is make sure you're talking to spirit, that you don't have any ego in the way, and you're coming from the highest consciousness. The rule of 3, right? 1, always connected to spirit. Who am I speaking with? Spirit, source, okay? So there's a chart for that, right? You point to, you put your pendulum and you let it point to it. So it kind of shows you, oh, I'm speaking to spirit. If it's not showing you it's speaking to spirit, you just say, hey, clear me, I want to speak to spirit, okay? And then show me where am I speaking with, who am I speaking with? Spirit. And then the second thing you need to make sure of is that you always without ego. So you can ask any way you want. Do I have any ego running here in the way of my clearing? No. Is the ego at the neutral level? Yes. So we can ask many ways. How are we connected with the ego? So from 0 to 100, is my ego neutral? 100%. That's how I would do. Then you can just say yes or no. Is my ego neutral? Yes or no. Okay? So however you want. And then 3 would be, is my consciousness at the highest level? Am I really coming from a place without judgment? That's what we mean, right? Because if you're going to judge, then you're going to be in the way of spirit. If you have your 2 cents, you're in the way of spirit. Technically, when you do a clearing, you should not have any thinking, right? Because all that thinking, it's Alex, so to speak, right? So Alex gets out of the way. Alex doesn't get to talk during a clearing. And Alex has a lot of opinions. Alex has a lot of judgment. But that's not who we want at this moment. We have this intention to bring in spirit. So your 2 cents, your judgment, your opinions, what you think you know, all this has to go, okay? And so that's the ego. We still have a little ego, but we want that ego to be neutral. Meaning if your client or anyone comes to you and they want to grow a unicorn, then you're just going to clear to help them grow a unicorn. That is not your job to decide what they need. We're connecting to spirit. We are connected, without judgment. Our ego is neutral, and we are at the highest consciousness possible, where we feel the energy of spirit. Those 3 checkup really allows you to know that you are ready to do the clearing. And then you would do the same thing for your client, right? Once you do it for you, you do it for someone else, okay? And then in that space, we both can work with spirit, right? So if you're working on yourself, well, you just have to worry about your energy. Who am I speaking with, right? If you're working on someone else, who am I speaking with? My high self, okay? And am I speaking to the person's high self? Yes, okay? And then in that case, I would use this dowsing technique that you might already know. Am I speaking to my high self, your high self, or both? So you can see it's 1, 2, and 3. And so you would decide here, you can use your chart right here, deciding that is my high self represented. This is the person's high self that I'm working with. And this is both. We always want to be connected to both. And so I would say, spirit, am I talking to my high self, the person's high self that I'm clearing right now, or both? And I'm getting both. Okay. So then now I can make sure that the person that I'm working with does not have an ego over the top. So I want to be also make sure that this ego is neutral. Is the persons that I'm working with, the ego is neutral 100%? Am I talking to high self? Yes. Is the consciousness at the highest level? Yes. And then you would begin to clear someone else. Okay. So this is to give you an overview, an idea. Okay. So 1, always check that you're with spirit. 2, make sure your ego is neutral, and 3, make sure you're coming from the highest level of understanding and consciousness, okay? And then in that space, it's all spirit. And so when you have those 3 checked, you're ready to work, right? Because you know, you saw it, you checked, right? And so to get familiar with the pendulum, the practice, you get better, right? And do not judge the way the pendulum moves. As long as you understand the communication between you and the spirit, that's all that matters. And then any chart, you point and you ask spirit to do what is needed. The command that we use here on earth is the word clear, but nothing gets clear per se. The word is not accurate, right? We understand that clearing means spirit, do what you got to do. Because clearly we don't know down here. We only use 10% of our brain, and we have a lot of ego, we have a lot of judgment. So really we don't know what needs to be done. Maybe it's rewiring, maybe it's recycling, maybe it's moving, maybe it's closing, maybe it's opening. There's so much thing that needs to happen in the name of healing, in the name of clearing, right? So we say the word clear, but really it's spirit, do what you got to do. Spirit is supreme intelligence. So we're not telling spirit what to do, right? We are facilitating the healing by being here at presence of human in the physical sense to think, and we all think that we're telling spirit what to do at first because that's how kind of things look like, right? We say, oh, clear. So now that I said clear, they're going to do it, right? Obviously, it's more about the communication, right? It's about you being here as an advocate for someone else or for yourself, to be witnessing of the change of energy of what needs to be done. You're just an observer and a receiver, okay? And so obviously the minute it's point to it, it's cleared. We're not waiting for you to say clear. You could say shamarara, and if that's what means fix it, do it, then that's all it is. You don't need to have a specific word. You could just say, fix it, spirit. Do what you gotta do. It's just a long sentence. So the word clear sounds so much better and faster. But again, if you don't say anything, it's still gonna be done. Spirit is not a 2-year-old that says, she didn't say, I'm not going to do it, right? So we have to remember to not take spirit as stupid or thinking that it needs to be micromanaged or being told what to do. Obviously, it's the opposite. We're here to listen, to be guided, to receive, and then transformation happen. Wow, moment in your clearing. Amazing intuition comes through because you completely surrendered to spirit energy, to understand that you're here as a vessel to receive and provide the understanding on the physical sense. So we really want to be that vessel of opening and receiving. So the word clear, it's not a command, it's just a word we say because, if not, we're just silent. We're just like, right? So we have to say something. So we say clear, right? So any charts in the world, you can take it, you say clear because the intention is do what needs to be done, right? So you can see why you can get the charts, do a connection refresh, and point to it, clear. Point to the next thing, clear. Is there anything else on this chart? No. Okay, so you take any chart you want. And the way charts are built up is that the first chart is like the sum up of all the charts underneath, right? So it's like you know where to go from the first chart. So what we're going to call that a master chart. Your master chart is your map, right? Where to go, what to do. So you on your map and you say, Spirit, show me where to go. And it would show a chart. You would just go directly to that chart and say what needs to be clear on this chart. And then you would see your pendulum point to a few things and you would just say, what else? And what else? And what else? Until you get a signal, there's nothing, or, it's like, that's it. You get a communication signal with spirit that this chart is clear. Go back to master chart. What other charts do I need to clear? Here, for example, when an IDU and it shows 20, I would go to chart 20 and I would say, Spirit, show me what to clear. And again, you don't need to say anything because Spirit already knows that you need to be shown what to clear. But again, we talk because we're human and we have a conversation through words. But you can do it through the thinking and all in silence, right? So here, pointing to light source, energy curse to clear anything else, memory tangible to clear anything else. That's it. And then I would go back to master chart and I would continue to do the same thing. What else needs to be cleared? And then I would go to chart and then I would do it. What else needs to be clear on this chart? All the way, everything is clear on this chart. Yes, is everything clear on this chart? You can ask that way. Again, it's all about your communication and your style. You need to find your brand. And then, okay, is anything else on this chart? No. And then we have this universal mop-up signal, a seal signal, meaning we're terminating, we're done. So once you get that on top of the chart, you move on back to the master chart. Once you get that on top of the master chart, then you're like, is this modality finished? Are we completed with this modality? Then you can go on to the modality. Say something like seal, clear everything and anything that can be cleared, and then go on to the modality. So if the pendulum happened to point out something again and again and again and again, over and over, I noticed that with spirits, the communication we establish is that we're going to point, it's going to be taken care of. We're going to point, it's going to be taken care of. We're going to point, it's going to be taken care of. And then at some point, we're going to point to the same item again. What's going on here? And so that's where we come into that place of utilizing our corner dowsing, meaning, wait a minute, why are you showing me this item again? Are we doing a research, or it's another layer that we need to clear? If it's showing you another layer that needs to clear, clear. All the layers, all bodies, all mind. If it shows you it needs to be a research, so what does that mean, doing a research, right? It's meaning that this one item that we just point to and you say clear, well, that didn't do it, right? We need to go a little deeper. Let's say point to trust and you clearing any charge and any block to trust, and then it goes back, what else that needs to be cleared? And then it shows again, trust. That's when you know to ask, okay, research or clear, all right? And then you will get, oh, it's a research. That's mean trust. It's so deeply anchored into a block that we're going to need to use other charts, other things to really clear the block to trust. And so in that case, we opening up this little can of worm, this little side. And so this is what we call it, research. We're going to dive in, we're going to dig in, we're going to look more into it. And so we would say, okay, so what do I need to clear to research and clear trust, right? And so you would be, again, pointing out to different charts. You would go to charts, you would clear, and then another chart, clear, and then you would say how much, from 0 to 100, how much of this research has been done? 85%. Go back to master chart. All right, clear, clear, clear. How much of this research has been done? 100%. Beautiful. And then now you go back to clearing. What do we need to clear to complete this clearing? And so you would continue to proceed. Master chart, show me what to clear, go to the chart, point to it, clear, right? And then sometimes when you see something pretty or something good or something positive, you can say, oh, apply it. But again, if you don't say it, spirits are going to do what needs to be done without your orders and command. Okay, so allow yourself to really tune in intuitively, because sometimes there's so many information that come through you without any charts. It's just intuition. Check if it's coming from spirit, that your ego is neutral, your consciousness is at the highest level possible, and in that sense, you know this message is truly from spirit. Okay, and then once you notice that you're not getting any more information, from 0 to 100, how much of this clearing has been done? 100%. Is there anything else to do, say, or clear? No. Out of everything and anything, that I do everything, that I completed my contract between me and this clearing, between me and this soul's persons, and then you would get 100%, then you would know that you're done with the clearing. And then you would say, seal, complete. Bring in satisfaction into this clearing, the freedom energy, clear everything and anything that can be clear, wrap it all up, And then you would ask, is the soul satisfied from this clearing? Yes, 100%. And then you would ask, is the soul feeling completion to this clearing? And then you would get, yes, 100%. And then that's in that case that you would know the clearing is done. And in that case, you can use any chart you want. I hope this helped. If you have any question, please comment below and practice, have fun. And if you're trying to get in contact with me, Facebook, Instagram, text, email, you know it.